If you're tuning in now or after the live, I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Please make sure to hit that like button as it will greatly help push us through the analytics and it'll help us push through the algorithm. And that's very important so that we can continue to grow our audience and also so that YouTube will alert our audience members that are part of the audience already and allow them to get here if they want to watch this. Otherwise, if you're new, it's an important thing just so that we can help expand the audience and continue to grow it. So I do thank everybody for being here. I'll turn on the comments in a minute, but I wanted to timestamp this. As we know, or as you'll find out right now, XRP is down about 4.4% right now. It's down about 1.3 billion. We had a little bit of a dump down here, and we'll talk about why this continues to happen and what's going to happen for this to stop. I mean, it's that simple. We're going to have to correct enough to where we can clear out the relative strength for XRP to where we can actually have a sustained move. This was, whether it was going to happen at 534 and we're going to have a push down, or it was going to happen at the top of the descending triangle, there was no way around this. We needed to go down to 44 cents to the bottom of the rising channel from June of 2022 to properly push out the rest of the little bit of, let's just call it the weight that's kind of dragging us down right now. So we had a chance. Instead, we took the up route for rejection. Now we did clear out better than 5% at its peak. So we'll see what the impact here is today. And we'll go through this live. I don't know exactly how long we'll be here. It'll be based on the back and forth and also how fast I can get through this. But at 7 o'clock, we have the daily flip. And I think it's going to be pretty interesting again today. So we'll continue to watch this. But we have to do it from an emotionless standpoint because if we let our emotions dictate the way that we're going to perceive this, we're going to do this all wrong. You know, you have to have that positivity, especially in moments like this. So I'm going to shut this one light off in my house because it's kind of bothering me a little bit. But I don't even remember if I did the intro. Let me turn the comments on. So if you are watching, please make sure to hit that like button. It will greatly help push us through the analytics. James, did I say the intro? I don't even remember if I did. Good evening, James. Welcome in, John. I'll do this in just a second. Let me shut this light off. All right. So good evening. 6:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, January 30th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I thank everybody for tuning in. We got a lot to cover today. We do. So we'll get into this real quickly, just so we can try to stay on the same page here. We're going to look all across the board. Ooh, this one's retracing a little bit now. This is starting to head back into oversold in the smaller time frames. I'm very interested to see how a lot of this market reacts, not just XRP. I want to see from a grand scale how this market reacts. So the 30-hour, starting to get a little bit of a pullback here with this. But anyhow, sorry. If you keep looking at this though through the daily, it gets interesting because the daily is still oversold. And it's trying to have its first sign of a reversal. I was suspecting it would come to the top of this rising falling channel here. But we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I got my eyes on a few different things here because I want to see how the market is reacting as a whole. XRP, as we know, is down 4.48%. We're sitting at 0.5112 or 51.1 cents. XRP looks like it's got rejected here. We have a dot cross. 534 was a perfect spot to get rejected if we're not going to come higher than this. And that's the longer term pattern here that could get you down a little bit lower. But if we look at it for what it is right now, this part of the formation we're in is a descending triangle in the shorter time. If you take this into a shorter time frame, and we got rejected at the pivot point at 534, that's rather significant because if you get rejected there with the dot cross here, that could push us down pretty far if we lose this formation. 44 cents is the obvious lower support. It's actually around 442 if we get into February. But that's the all-time, well, not the all-time, but this is from the rising channel from June of 2022. So that's the support down there. Now, if we look at this, though, with XRP, because of how much we dropped down, we did clear out a pretty good amount in the relative strength index, as it is. Let me, for some reason, I will not do what I wanted to. But that's the daily time frame. So if we're just consolidating, this seems to be kind of bull flagging here. And if we just hold from a relative strength perspective, we've got a lot of room that we can reverse back up now after just a little bit more down. Even in the 4-hourly, this is going to continue to correct down. And all of a sudden here, we're going to find ourselves in the oversold position. And to me, XRP doesn't quite seem done yet to me. As long as it holds this descending triangle and it holds the support if it were to come down here, I think this is still on for a move all the way up. Even if it comes down to 497 or 494, unless it breaks this formation, that's when you really have to be like, okay, you know what? Maybe it is, it's not even going to have the retest back up. But right now, even when we start clearing out, we can see we're starting to get rather oversold in the 45, the 30. I wonder if that's the same with the ones down here as well. If that's the case, that means up and down. Nope, this one's got a little bit to catch up. Not much, though. I mean, everything's coming down pretty quick. What about XLM? Yeah, XLM's in the oversold as well. In the smaller time frames, but if that's creating an M, you know, obviously we know how fast that can pull down. But we're also starting to look at the fact that we sold out pretty quickly here. XLM's in the same predicament as XRP. As long as it holds this lower uptrend, that's at 11 cents, it's fine. It can continue to bounce, and then eventually it'll move up to 13 cents if it can hold long enough. It's the same thing with a lot of these. Same thing with a lot of these. They're all in a position to where, yeah, we dumped down, but if we could hold on long enough, it's definitely going to have a reversal. Maybe it'll just retest the drop point, but you're going to get into a position where it's going to catch up to itself here. XRP in the hourly is oversold. 2-hourly, it's going to be there after this candle closes. We've got 37 minutes left on this candle. 3-hourly, after this closes in 37 minutes again, this will be into the oversold. So at what point is this going to start to reverse back up? Because it's going to have to. This is what we were trying to avoid by not having that reverse rally and just continuing on to 44 cents. And then we could have been on our way. Daily time frame, that looks like another, it's an indecisive candle, but it's red. But after today's daily, it's still going to be around the same area unless we just dump out here at the end. But it'll probably slip closer into the oversold. But then when you take this into a weekly perspective, it looks a little different. It's still working its way down. Weekly won't close until Sunday. It's back into the firm neutral areas. So from a shorter time frame perspective, it looks like XRP needs to have a reversal soon just because it's so oversold. Like this could be a case where it's the perfect storm at 7 p.m. and then after the flip of the clock, even if it's just to tell us that we're bearish, you have a small reversal, but it looks like it's going to have some kind of move here. XRP is pretty oversold here in the 30-minute. It's starting to get down there. I don't know if anybody's really paying attention to it, but it's definitely getting down there. If you have anything that you'd like to add, please feel free. Bitcoin's down 123 points right now, or 0.29% to 43,179. Bitcoin's struggling as well. It's in the longer time frames, it was starting to top just a little bit if you look at it from a relative strength perspective. But if you look at it from a smaller time frame, you can see in the daily how it corrected back up. Weekly, it's pretty overbought still. It's going to have to come down eventually. But in the 3-hourly, it's up there again. 4-hourly, way up there in the overbought. But then if you come into the smaller time frames, it's starting to dump out pretty quickly. It keeps setting itself up for, if we get the proper corrections, to continue moving up. But we definitely had a nice little correction here. It's down over 800 points roughly from the top. So, but is it done correcting? That's what's hard to say. Only for the fact that if these are done, you know, it would have to come straight through without having to have a retest. And with how oversold these are getting into in the smaller time frames, it really does look like we're going to have one more retest. I mean, look at XRP. You're looking to have a big dump off here, but we're so oversold now in some of these smaller time frames. Even the 2 hourly is going to be pretty bad when we close this candle. Say 1 hourly. So I would be looking at XRP as soon as it finishes, however long this retracement takes, it's going to have some kind of reversal here. If this, maybe the reversal now, once it gets back down to 494, maybe that's an area. But it doesn't need to come all the way down there. If you just look at this, and the smaller, even the daily time frame's pretty far down there. Weekly is working its way down. This is becoming interesting. It's kind of looking like this now when you look at it from a daily perspective. Casper in the daily, look how oversold daily in the daily it is. So everything's correcting, but something tells me this correction, just looking at the relative strength here and how we look in the daily in a lot of these, it seems like we have to have some kind of correction here to the top side. Even XRP, how much it came up on there's so much room here. We have a lot of room here. We're actually set up pretty interesting right now. I'm just saying, this is pretty interesting. It looks like it should go down. Everything feels like it should go down. The buzz says it's going to go down. You know, and this is one of those cases where we might just be too oversold. We might be too oversold to continue on any farther than the bottom of this descending triangle. So right now the line in the sand needs to be 494. If it holds 494, you know it can have that very volatile rally back up. If it breaks through here and then we get a rejection, well, that would bring 44 cents on, on tap. But it's going to be hard to get down there without having some kind of top momentum back down. I mean, it's just going to get to a point where we did this too quickly. It almost feels like this is an overzealous dump to get rid of some of the longs right before a nice move up. Not saying that's what's going to happen because Bitcoin's overextended. But I'm saying it looks like something's going to have to catapult these. Who knows exactly what it is. But looks like something's going to have to give us that slingshot. So what better way than to have a few percent rally just to drop it back down? I mean, we do it every step of the way. I don't see why necessarily it would be any different today. Nothing on the board is really speaking like, oh. Yeah, Ripple's down 4.7% today, and it's dumped 1.37 billion off of its market cap. It's down to 27.7 billion. So where it's at right now, your next pivot point is 27.2 billion. So it kind of looks like that's what XRP's working towards. I'm telling you, it feels like we're having a dump off here, but if anybody else is watching, Bitcoin looks to be in a lot worse shape than a lot of these altcoins, which is interesting. Bitcoin's overextended. A lot of the altcoins are going to be oversold. In the similar time frames, it's almost like Bitcoin could drop while a lot of these alts could go up. But as we know, not oftentimes does that happen, does it? So we'll see exactly how hostile this last 32 minutes is of the close. And then we'll see. Flare's one of the only ones that I keep going down there, but Flare's one of the only ones that's hanging on to a positive gain here today. It's at up 1.9%. Other than that, Ethereum's up 1.7%, up to 2,355. Ethereum should give, that's one that's still with some upward momentum, but it definitely has a reversal candle in the 2 hourly, especially if it follows the rest of the market. But yeah, I mean, I don't really see any surprise here that it's starting to die. We were overextended to the top side with Bitcoin, but now the altcoins are going to have some kind of retracement, honestly. So we'll see. We'll see. So that's basically what I'm looking for. Please make sure to hit the like button. We can do much better than that on the likes. Much, much better. If you're watching, please just consider to hit that like button because it really does help push this content. I don't do any paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships, so I don't have any kind of marketing budget to do this on my own. So I need your help to help push me through the algorithm. If you'd like to send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army, that's completely up to you. But the honest part of it is I definitely need you to hit that like button and share this. That's the only way to help push this content. As you see, we're struggling right now. Not a lot of people are interested in crypto. The buzz is dying down. So we know what that means. This is the time we should be laser focused into what's going on. When everybody's running to the hills, maybe there's a reason we should be looking in this direction. Now, it's not going to be easy. We've got a long ways to go still. I mean, we're only in 2024. But I believe every single one of these levels, they speak. They tell us something. And just because they're coming down doesn't mean they don't tell another story. Some of these had to correct. But now they're going to get to a point where, remember when they had to correct? Now it's getting to a point to where a lot of these are in falling channels, descending trend. A lot of these are getting ready to make another move up after such a violent retracement. We're just getting to that part of the pattern that's starting to become noticeable now. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how many people catch that reversal that's going to happen when it does happen, or if everybody's just going to ignore it just because we're struggling a little bit. It's red. But remember, it can only go down so fast and it can only go up so much. So there's some kind of medium. You know, we have to find the medium. XRP right now, though, I think it's pretty cool that XRP is coming down now. Instead of breaking the 534 and going up there, it would have ended our run. I've said it a million times. If it would have just went up here, it would have ended the run. It couldn't just get there in one straight shot, but even if it would have just got here to the top of this descending, it would have ended the run. The only way to try to prolong this is to come down here and retest this. Do what it's doing right now. It doesn't necessarily have to come all the way down, but it needed to clear out some strength here and try to push past this death cross here in the daily. Because the weekly time frame, believe it or not, you're still in a golden cross. So weekly's in a golden cross, daily's in a death cross. The question is can you play out that death cross before you invalidate the weekly golden cross? That's a lot of the questions across a lot of the market. Now, some of them were so beaten down that they're kind of the opposite. And we're trying to get some verification. Like I'm trying to get validation on Casper how far it can go. So a lot of times you'll retest where a presumed death cross is going to happen. And on this one, it looks like 395 area. Looks like a small bull flag's formed here. Even in the daily time frame, it looks like it's set up for a small move up. So that's why I'm so interested with this, because it dumped out before XRP did. And then it started to make a little bit more of a move up. And now it's starting to almost look like it's bull flagging a little bit, trying to get some consolidation. But it's so, all of these are so difficult to say that, oh, it's just going to go up or it's going to go down. It's just, it is. CZAM, $5 donation. He says, super chat for you, bro. Can you give your thoughts on Flare? I picked up enough to stake. Long time subscriber, and I thank you for your time. Hey, I appreciate that, CZAM. Yeah, I also have Flare. I got it at like 0.0085 or something like that. Flare's up to resistance right now, though. There's no doubt about that. It's in an ascending formation. And right now we're up against it. So 4 hourly, we're becoming a little overextended. Daily, we're getting up there. We still have room for another move though. 3 hourly, 2 hourly. We still have one more hostile move in us if the market supports it. But we are up against a major resistance at that 234 level. So I mean, if we don't break that, you would have a very, 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 very good chance of coming down and retesting support. Maybe not all the way down there, but if you play it true, you'd have to come back down to about the 1.6, which that's not bad. This is just how you could continue to play out this formation. But we're at a crescendo point here, basically. We're at a make it or break it moment. It's either it continues this little trend or it breaks back down. If it breaks up, it's gonna try to come back up towards about 3 cents. But it's gonna be tough. Weekly still got a little bit of space. Monthly, nah, not gonna really tell. Daily, it's still got a little bit of space. This still has a little bit of space. I'm just saying, if the market cooperates and we don't full out dump down, and this is a nice consolidation after, before the close, and now maybe we go into tomorrow a little bit more steam after 7 p.m. I think there is a chance that Flare, along with a lot of these other cryptos, could run up, but we got to be very careful with that presumption. Because with death crosses, that's signifying a pattern's continuing to the downside. It's just they are lagging indicators. So we have to see if there's any support, if there's anything. We have to see if there's anything. And while I have everybody's attention, let's make sure we look at this real quick. So the XRP price flashes 4 warning signs. So I'm going to let my voice rest for just a second. I'm going to hit play, and you're going to have to listen to this because my voice is cracking a little bit. I'm doing the best I can today, but for some reason it's been struggling a little bit.
4 warning signs for the bulls. XRP. Bulls should brace for a period of potential price declines in the coming weeks. At least 4 indicators, including a mix of technical, fundamental, and on-chain metrics hint at downside ahead. XRP price bear flag setup. The first indicator hinting at a potential downturn for XRP is a bear flag pattern. A bear flag is a bearish continuation pattern characterized by a small, upward sloping rectangle formed by parallel lines against the prevailing downtrend. It gets resolved when the price decisively breaks below its lower trend line and falls by as much as the prevailing downtrend's height. As of January 30th, XRP is precariously hovering at the lower trend line of its bear flag, signaling a potential breakdown. Concurrently, its weekly relative strength index, RSI, stands at around 40, a neutral territory indicating the scope of possible further declines in the market. XRP/USD weekly price chart. Source, Trading View. Therefore, a decisive break below the flag's lower trend line risks positioning XRP's price for a fall toward 24 cents, down about 55% from current price levels, by May or June. XRP whales are dumping. XRP is on the brink of a bear flag breakdown, a situation that aligns with the substantial inflow of XRP, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, into Bitstamp and other cryptocurrency exchanges, according to data from Whale Alert. That includes Ripple's transfer of $24.75 million worth of XRP tokens into an unknown wallet on January 30th. This transfer is likely part of Ripple's routine operations involving the tokens that are unlocked from escrow each month. Large XRP transfers to exchanges and unknown wallets. Source, Whale Alert/X. The timing of these substantial XRP transfers to exchanges is noteworthy, as it aligns with a critical shift in the distribution of XRP holdings. Specifically, there's a noticeable decrease in the XRP reserves of whales holding between 100 million and 1 billion tokens, the Deal Wave, alongside increased holdings by entities possessing over 1 billion tokens, the Black Wave, which could be crypto exchanges. XRP supply distribution. Source, Sentiment. Following the decline in XRP holdings among the cohort with 100 million to 1 billion tokens, there has been a corresponding uptick in the supply controlled by the group holding 10 million to 100 million XRP, the Red Wave. XRP supply distribution. Source, Trading View. This suggests either the selling or redistribution of XRP holdings by whales. Death Cross, Head and Shoulders breakdown. XRP sell-off risks further increase due to a confluence of 2 bearish technical setups on shorter timeframes. First, XRP's 50-day exponential moving average, 50-day EMA, the red wave, will likely cross below its 200-day EMA, the blue wave, forming a so-called death cross that's seen as a bearish signal by traditional traders and analysts. For instance, a death cross formed on the XRP daily chart in December 2021 preceded a 65% price decline, as shown below. XRP/USD daily price chart. Source, Trading View. Second, XRP is painting a head and shoulders, H&S, pattern on its daily chart. H&S is a bullish to bearish trend reversal pattern, characterized by a peak, shoulder, followed by a higher peak, head, and another lower peak, shoulder, all forming atop a common support line called the neckline. Analysts measure the H&S price target by calculating the maximum distance between the head's peak and the neckline and extending it downward from the point where the price breaks through the neckline. Applying the same technical rule on XRP's H&S brings its price target to about 34 cents, down 30% from current price levels, by March or April. XRP/USD daily price chart foot height and S breakdown setup. Source, TradingView. No spot XRP ETF in sight. BTC analysts are not too optimistic about a spot XRP ETF happening anytime soon, which could dampen the demand for XRP tokens versus Bitcoin, BTC, and Ether, ETH. The ongoing lawsuit between Ripple and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, is a big reason why, along with the absence of an XRP futures ETF in the U.S.
Okay, so that's basically the rundown there. So I appreciate everybody taking the time to listen to that. As we can see, we're in the middle of a little bit of a breakdown here before 7 o'clock. As we've been saying, there's many targets to the downside if it continues to break down. Ultimately, this is the all-time pattern. If this does continue to break down, you've got 37.7. That would have to break down the shorter time frames, which first and foremost, you would have to get by the June of 2022 uptrend, which obviously for almost a year and a half, over a year and a half now, we haven't been able to break that down. And that's at 44 cents. After that, you have below, it's around 37.7 cents. Immediate support right now is this descending triangle in the shorter term. That's at right around the 49. I've been calling it the 494 level. So that's what it's looking like to me now. What I'm saying is the way that we're doing this, if we're just looking for one big drop down, as much as I would love to say, oh, this is the drop, what's going to start happening here is we're going to find ourselves in a severe oversold case by the time we probably get down to the support area, if not before. So what I'm saying is don't be surprised if now we're looking at this and we're like, okay, bearish mindset. Tom's talking about all the bearish sides of thing. Now all of a sudden at 7 o'clock, we see maybe within an hour or two like a 2 or 3% rise in a lot of cryptos. Everything's gonna be, what the fuck is going on? Why the hell would crypto even dump right before the flip? This is all manipulated. It's exactly what they want you to see. Look at the 30-minute, folks. We're not making this up. It's at a point where it's gonna have to correct back up a little bit here. There's nothing I or you can do about that. Even if we want it to go down in a straight line, this is going to become extremely oversold outside of, when you get into the 4-hourly and down. Even the daily, though, is looking like a nice V-shaped recovery. So let's just hold our horses here real quickly if you're taking a short and understand that there's probably one more shakeout here to get rid of the shorts. I mean, I've been pointing to a couple different ones. Look at this in the daily for Casper. I know it's looking a little bit, in some of these other time frames, but the bottom line is we're starting to get back into areas now where it's going to become enticing for someone to get back in and start throwing the money the opposite way. I mean, look how quickly, as these time frames are breaking down, that this is. So there's some kind of retracement coming. We don't know if it's going to meet the break point. We don't know if it's going to push past, and maybe this liquidity could help it push up a little bit more. But what we do know is there's some kind of correction coming, and I don't mean to the downside. There's going to have to be something that pulls more liquidity to finish this move down. I mean, XRP is the very obvious to me is XRP is just out of control in the 30, especially. You start going from those time frames all the way through the 2-hourly when they're becoming out of control. A lot of people are absolutely dropping out of XRP for some reason. Well, it's like we've said over a cumulative amount of time. It's not just XRP. It's crypto as a whole. People are losing interest. Look at today. Look at today. There's 64 people here, which I continue to be shocked that there's that many people that even are willing to watch. But 64 people here. If XRP was up 14% today, there'd be 250 people in here. That's where the problem is. Everybody's going to come in when it's pumping, but they've already missed out before the pump. This is when everybody should want to be watching so you can watch for that next possible reversal or for that next possible chance to start to snipe some of this. You're trying to find better buys too if you're not in. If you're in, you're trying to expand yourself by not raising your buy-in. So like all of these little small motions here can tell us like, hey, this is what's happening. Like this is how we do this. But if we miss out on these negative turns, makes it pretty hard. Yeah, you're right around where I'm at, crypto. I bought mine at 346, so like I'm not even willing to buy it until it's somewhere around what does that put me at about 27 cents before I'd be willing to buy more, 28 cents, somewhere in there. But we'll see what happens. I'm more than willing to let it happen. It's just I can already see an obvious problem here with the relative strength of all of these cryptos on the way down. It's just like when I wanted it to crash right away. We had too much leverage to the top side because the technical traders are going to try to take advantage. We could be walking in that same kind of a setup here. I'm just being cautiously optimistic because I know personally what could happen here. If it does drop the hammer and we lose that support, it could all of a sudden be 12% across the board. But I don't think they're going to do it when everybody's expecting it. That's my whole thing. Everybody's expecting it. I know where this market is going 100%, CZAM. Yep. If it plays true, we know exactly where it's going. But I think that's good. I think that's everything I wanted to cover tonight. Honestly, I do. So I thank everybody for tuning in for this half hour. Consider everything we've talked about during this live and try to make an educated and informed decision. Like, please. And if you're leverage trading, if you're spot trading, make sure you're buying where you want, not because somebody on YouTube's telling you to buy it. Make sure you're buying something with the understanding of, hey, I can lose money, but if I buy at the proper spots, I'll be able to, maybe layer into something and actually make a big score. It happens every single day. Why can't it be you? Or the big score might not even happen what you buy today. It's going to be what it turns into in 6 months or a year or 2 years or 5 years. You just have to have a basic understanding. Look at all of these now. This is going to start following as these hours close for Casper, just like XRP. You're starting to get into this. Even in the smaller time frames, it's telling us we're dropping down so fast in the last couple hours that we're overextending ourselves. It happens all the time. It seemingly happens all the time when we do this. And it's just like, what is the crescendo point? And, something tells me that after it does do this, we're going to have a small little rebound, and then we're going to decide our fate relatively quickly here going forward. So this is just one that fascinates me, just because from a daily perspective, when you look at a lot of the others, they're up a little bit. This, in the daily sense, this was already ready and the oversold. So I'm just curious if this is trying to lay the foundation for what's going to happen going forward with some of our other cryptos. Like XRP, you're trying to find that point where it's like, all right, has it bottomed out? That 534 rejection says a lot. It really does. But we're still in this descending triangle. So until that breaks, there's always the chance that we can retest. And it almost seems like it should retest up here, but you never know. You just never know with what's going on here in the markets. Have a blessed night, everybody. Pay very close attention